Hello, welcome to Bonnywood Snail Farm, Bonnywood Farms and Agro Consult and all the Bonnyhoods you know. I'm so excited today because a very massive good news is what I want to give to you, and it is something you really want to hear. I'm very sure it's something you really want to hear. I want to use this medium to drop a video for you on how you can feed your snails properly. All right, so that is actually part of our training, our Soilless Snail Farming training, but I've extracted that part of the video which I want to show you now because I know that most of you will need that information. It will be very useful for you. Okay, so the point is, first of its kind, we are starting training people on Soilless Snail Farming. Initially, what we do is we only set up farms and we only train people we set up farms for. But today, we want to start training people on how they can set up their Soilless Snail Farm from A to Z. Okay, how they can make the hide, how they can prepare the sacks, how they can set up, build a structure from A to Z. And it is a good news actually, and that is what will be given to you in this training. So if you are interested in learning Soilless Snail Farming, which you know Soilless Snail Farming is not something you can learn everywhere. There are very few persons who are into Soilless Snail Farming, and Bonnywood Farms and Agriculture has been in Soilless Snail Farming since 2019, and we are still doing very well. We've had a lot of innovations. We have a lot of massive discoveries in Soilless Snail Farming, and we are putting all those experiences together to train you on how you can farm your snails without soil, and the issues of soil, planting leaves and all those things. We are taking all those things out, and so you can have a new experience of snail farming, a massive new experience of snail farming. And that is what we are going to bring to you. I'm going to guide you from step to step. We're going to train you on how to do the pens by yourself, the dimensions and everything. I'm going to guide you. I'm going to give you 6 months mentorship, and then after that you can decide to enroll on our mentorship programs. All right, on Soilless Snail Farming. Anywhere from now, the manuals will be out, and I can tell you, you can just rush to our WhatsApp. You can see our WhatsApp number, the WhatsApp link on the description link, and then you can follow us on WhatsApp so you can enroll on this training, and we're going to train you, give you the very best in Soilless Snail Farming. All right, so we've had a lot of calls and we're trying to put all these things together so you can benefit from all this. Now, the point of this video is that I want to show you how to take care of, how to feed your snails in Soilless Snail Farming. That is part of the training, but I've just extracted that content, and so I can give to you for free. I know that it will be very useful for you in your snail farming adventures. So for that reason, I want to give you that value. I want to train you basically shortly on how you can feed your snails properly in Soilless Snail Farming. So I think this knowledge will be very useful for you, even as you look towards enrolling in this program. So diving right into the management practices or the management tips in Soilless Snail Farming using the Bonnywood Soilless hutch system. Now you have to understand that a lot has changed in this Soilless snail farming system compared to the regular soil snail farming systems. So that means you have to give it all your attention to be able to get the best out of this wonderful training, because we have tampered with the structure, and that means everything will not be exactly the way they are, especially the management aspect and the care. Okay, so that is what I'll be training you in this training. Well, actually I have talked about some of these things in my YouTube channel. That is why from the beginning, from introduction, I recommended that you go watch those videos, so it makes it so easy for you, it makes it so easy for me as well. All right, so first of all, you have to understand that when you feed your snails, when you put food for your snails, not every food per se, but most of the food, almost about 90% of the food, when you place them for the snails in the night, in the evening, and because you feed your snails in the evening, not in the morning, okay, you put food for them in the evening so they can quickly eat the food and finish them before the morning, because the snails are active in the night. All right, so let me say this again. Let me repeat it again. So the reason why you feed your snails in the night is that the snails are nocturnal animal. Nocturnal means they are active at night. All right, So, and most of these food you serve your snails are what ants and insects love to eat as well. So these things, this food can, if they stay in your pen for a long time, can introduce these ants and insects into your farm, and they can start killing your snails. Okay, so for that reason we put the food in the evening around 7, around 7:30, around 8. Okay, or maybe due to distance and whatever, you can put the food around 6, but it should not be earlier than 6. Okay, so now once the night starts to come, that's when the snails get active. So you get your food ready and serve them by that time of the evening, so that when the snails get active, they'll be able to finish their food in the night before dawn. Or even if they are unable to finish them, they will finish most of the food, and then in the morning there will be no much thing left for ants and insects to come in and start to predate your snails. And another thing is, it is compulsory that when you serve your snails food, you must take away those plates in the morning unfailingly. That is something you must never forget. All right, although as we go on, I'll talk about some other feeds that will likely stay a bit longer, but most of them, like I said, over 90% of the food in the morning they have to be removed, so it will prevent the invitation of ants and insects that can kill your snails. So we are still talking about removing food first thing in the morning, so that is very important. Now if you are giving them formulated feed, they must be removed the next morning. If you are adding vegetables and leaves for them, it should stay not more than 2 days. Okay, but after that period they will start to rot, but while they are very fresh they are still suitable, so let's say 2 days. And then the reason is that most of the insects and flies, ants, they actually come for the juice. Okay, when the leaves begin to rot and exert its juice, the insects come to suck those juice, and when they come for the juice, they will see the snails, and then they will get inside the snails and start to lay their eggs. And when they do that, the eggs will hatch inside the snail, and the babies of those flies will start to eat the snail from the inside. And you don't know how or what caused the death of the snail, but the cause is actually inside the snail. So for that reason you have to remove leaves and vegetables at least 2 days. Okay, although in a moistened pen, a pen that is moist, the leaves will stay a bit longer. All right, because the moisture actually preserves the leaves, but you have to be very careful. And I also tell people, when they are adding leaves, to avoid all these issues of mortality caused by ants and insects, I tell people that they should remove the leaves the next morning. All right, just the same way they do to other feed. The next morning. The reason is that if you don't do so, sometimes negligence, it's okay, I'll remove them tomorrow, I'll remove them, before you know, you've forgotten, and sometimes some of them may start to rot faster and you are unable to detect it. So for that reason we recommend that you get the leaves out of the pen the next morning. And to avoid wastage, you have to ensure that when you're giving leaves, don't add so much to the snails. Okay, so the snails can easily finish what you had for them before the next morning. Or, and even if they don't finish, whatever is remaining, to be at the safer side, remove them and waste them. Although on a YouTube video, I'll make a video how you can preserve your vegetables and your leaves to feed your snails. And I think on a YouTube video I will do that, and you gain a lot of lessons on that, how you can preserve vegetables. So if you feed the snails, you can remove them and then preserve them, and then you can use them the next few days. All right, so I'm going to teach you on that and how to go about that very soon. So when you add the food, ensure to remove it in the morning. When you give them formulated feed, ensure you remove it in the morning. When you give them vegetables, ensure you remove it in the morning. When you give them fruits, any kind of fruit, ensure you get it out of the pen the next morning. All right, and most of the feed, but there is an exception which I personally do, and I think it works for me, and I believe it will work for you. When you give your snails sweet potatoes, they love sweet potatoes a lot, and that's one of the frequent tuber I give to my snails. So when you're serving them sweet potato, all right, and you're adding the potato in big lumps. All right, so when you put those lumps, big lumps in potato, you can actually keep that potato until it finishes. If sometimes it takes 2-3 days. All right, the reason is that insects and ants are not easily attracted to sweet potatoes. All right, so that potato can be there in the farm for so long, and potato does not rot very quick, so for that reason it will stay a long time, and the snails will still come and eat it day after day, day after day, without causing any issue to your farm. But any other food, I will recommend you take it out of the pen early in the morning. That's number one. Okay, so number two is that you feed your snails at least 3 to 4 times in a week. Well, some people are surprised. Some people like say, okay, I thought we are going to feed our snails every day. Well, every day is necessary, all right, but then you must also have to understand that in snail farming, snail farming is actually a business, and you are in for profit as well. Okay, if you have, especially if you have something like potatoes and apples frequently, it is very advisable that you can skip, at least like one day. Okay, out of the 7 days in a week, can skip a day and feed a day, skip a day. Personally, that is how I feed my snails. Okay, I feed a day and skip a day, but quite most of the time I do leave some potatoes for them to divulge from time to time. So 3 to 4 times is okay, but 4 times is preferable. 4 times is preferable. And then even if you want to feed them frequently, it's still very okay. If you want to feed them every day, it's fine, very fine. That will help them to grow faster and all that. But I can also tell you that too much feeding can also kill your snails. That is something most persons are not aware of. Sometimes you feed your snails very well, take good care of them very well, your snails still die. You don't know what it caused. Too much feeding of your snails will kill the snail. The snail will overfeed and begin to bloat. All right, it will get choked up and bloat, and the snail can die. So feeding your snails, I would recommend you feed it about 4 times in a week. I would say 4 times in a week. So you go with 4 times in a week. Make sure you give them quality food so they can do well for you.